I wanted to share with you some charity store finds and what I normally do with them. So I've been going to the charity store, and my local one, they usually have bags like this with it's usually kind of just jewellery, basically. I think this is the biggest bag I've got so far. And they're normally like this size, and this cost about £6. And basically they have, you know, bits of jewellery, bangles, and I've been using them for my when I do bookbinding, and I've also been using them for my fabric wall hanging projects. And I mean, I have beads, but I've got a lot of these like little tiny beads. I'll show you. So I've got a lot of these tiny beads that I've been using, and these other beads that I have in my collection. But finding bits of jewellery that you can put on a project actually just kind of makes it that much more special. So I'd made this one, and this was a bangle bracelet with this little flower on it, so I thought, well, that would make a nice necklace. And then here is a selection of here's a selection of beads, and if you look closely there's a little heart there, and that was attached to an earring. So what I've been doing in these projects is you know, using jewellery alongside the beads. And I've got beads, you know, all down her front here and around the edges like that, and I've even incorporated some buttons. So what I then did was just, you know, take a trip to my local store, and some of them you'll find have just the single, you know, bracelet or bangle. But so my one of my local ones, they do packets. So I think what happens is at the end of, I don't know, a week, whatever was donated for that week then just goes into a big bag. And so just open this one to kind of look and see what kind of things are in here and what kind of things I'm going to be using in some of the projects. And not all of them are going to be used, and what I'll probably do is make up the bag and take it back to a different store. So things like, I've been thinking about projects with the bangles, because I do get a lot of bangles in the project. And so things like these, I'm thinking they're quite colourful, and especially in the sewn projects. I'll show you one. I'll show you one that I've got that's just really it's not really anything yet, but it's got the potential. Okay, so basically what I've done is I've been working on panels like this, and they've been decorated. And so one of the things, actually I've got an image in here, I want to work on. One of the things is using the bangles in a particular way where they can be sewn on to the piece. But you know, we'll see. Haven't yet decided. I did have an idea last night in between dream. Okay, so this one looks as if it's got lots of bangles here. Very often you'll find bracelets, earrings. So we've got what looks like a earring. So something like this is really cute. I'm just looking to so it makes it easier to see, I think. So this is a earring, a feather earring, and there's a bit missing from here, and the reason why I know there's a bit missing is because I've seen the other one. Put them there. I've seen the other one, and it had an extra bit on it. Here it is. So if you look at this one, you go a bit closer. Right, if you go with this one, it's got a bit missing here. It's got that bit missing, and what it is a bit of a chain. That's the bit that's missing from this earring. But the way that the feathers are attached, they're each on their own chain, and so that in itself is going to be a really nice addition to a book, or to be sewn to one of my wall hangings. So I look out for things like that, things that can be deconstructed and then, you know, used in another project. And so even this in itself is going to be something nice to use. And then things like beads. So I've come across a lot of beads, and if you take beads from different bunches, like say these three, you can, if you go for like a colour coordination, you can then make up a totally new design, colour combination with the beads. And so it's nice to be able to do that. And even something like this, I would look at this section here, which has got, that looks like a stone, but they're all beads. But you could take, even say this, I'll take this colour combination and use it on one of my projects. And then you've got other beads that you can either, you know, you can make up different colour combinations. I find some where you can, like even if I took this, you could make miniature earrings, because I do a lot of faces in some of the projects, so you've got miniature earrings. Or this can be a necklace, you know, for one of the characters in the piece. The bigger beads, what I do is usually, as I've done in this one, and I attach them to the end, and you have something that's hanging, because it adds weight to the piece. But it also, and then when it's hanging, it's nice as well. So I recommend you go down to your charity store and see what you can pick up. As I say, you know, you get loads of lovely things that you might not necessarily have brought, or if you did buy them, like if you think about charms, for instance. So I found this in the selection, And so there's quite a bit of things that, you know, would be nice additions to a project, or if you were doing a handmade book. There's another earring there. So pretty, aren't they? And the chains, so you can use the chains in the project, you can use the beads. These are quite heavy beads, these ones. Or if you wanted to, you could wear it, you know. It's got it's all intact. This would have cost £3, but this whole bag cost me a £5. And you've got all of these things that if you brought them individually, if you went to a craft store and you brought them, you would pay a lot more money. For what I've found in the bag itself, even the beads, I mean, these are not pearls, these are not real pearls, but they add, you know, a nice dimension to the project. This is a cute one. Didn't even see this one before. But it's got some interesting beads on it, so I would just get them for the beads, really. I mean, like these, you know, you're paying £1. You're paying £1 for these at, you know, the craft store. And then all these little bits, the findings and stuff. So, for some of them, I would just put them in some... And then the charms that they have are quite cute. So this packet has got a lot of bangles that I'm going to think about what I want to do with them. Some of them are very pretty. It's like that. Got some, you know, pretty designs on them. But it's not something that I would wear. I think it's like those Asian wedding type bangles. That's what these look like. These remind me of. There's 5 of these. So they're very pretty. If you could find a way of flattening it out, you could. But as I say, it'd be nice. I even thought about making a circular book and having the bangles as the kind of the frame of the book, so that you would maybe open it like that and you'd see the pattern. So there's another. Might try that. So you open the book, miniature bangle books. And it's all very pretty. So I went through this, going through this. As I say, there's lots of bangles, and I'm sure there's projects I could use for those. There's some necklaces that, again, on their own would look quite nice on a book. There's a few rings. They'll probably go back in the pack, and I'll redonate it. But some of these I like the silver bits on them. A lot more bangles than I need. And I've got things like this, just like such a pretty necklace. Let's move those. That's pretty, isn't it? I don't think it's gold, but it's very pretty, and that would go lovely with leather. Has to do with things like this. There's like some very kind of costumey type bits, and as I say, you know, they were all in this £5 bag. So I'm thinking, you know, That's the wrong way. There we go. I mean, these in themselves would look really nice on a project, and it's got the bits where the chains, you could have the chain. This one's been broken off, but that I can just use it like that. And then it's got these great beads here that I've never seen anything like this at the bottom before. So we're going to clean them up. So that one. Clean them up and then see what we're keeping. So as I say, even things like, so this is cute, it's quite heavy and it'd look really nice. You'd look really nice on your arm. But what I would do is separate these things and maybe put a bead in them, and then they could be flat on a surface and the bead would hold them to the fabric. Okay, so I encourage you to go to your local store and see what you can find. To your local charity store, see what you can find and see what you can use. So things like this are made up of loads of beads. I don't think I would break it up. I'd probably just redonate it because it's quite a nice bangle. Maybe if I make some more jewellery, you can do some accessories. And then this one came in, found this one in a bag. It wasn't in this bag, it was in a different bag that I'd brought. But some of the flowers, the petals are missing. But I brought it because the petals themselves are quite nice, and they could be used on, you know, some mixed media work. And stuck onto pieces, stuck onto books, onto the journals. Some of the colours are quite pretty, complement one another. I found that. And some loose beads, and then things like this. I can't think of anything to do with it as yet. So that will, I think it's a necklace. So that's going to go back in the bag, back to the charity store. And I've got some here that I was going to return, and these are bangles, so like things like this. I think somebody could, you know, give it a good home. Some of the wooden bangles I'm not going to particularly use. The silver ones and the gold, the gold type ones are useful because, as I say, you can sew them to projects, and you know, I think I've got some more of these. Yeah. So got quite a few of these. Although I think one set might be silver. Not sure. Get that checked out. Yeah. So. This is all the stuff. This is a bag I'm sending back. So it's a good idea to go down to your local store and see what you can find, because you'll be able to use them in some of your projects, and or you might even find something that you like in them. I found this bracelet. It's really cute. And a few other things that I thought, oh, that's cute. We've got this little fish here, but the fish will be going to a good home. It'll probably go on a book, I think. There's a jewel that's missing, so I might have a look around and see where, if I can find something to replace it. But that's a nice shape to go on a handmade leather book. And it's got the hole that it can be attached. So I'm pretty pleased with some of the things that I've found. And a lot of the beads, so you know, I do like beads. I've always liked collecting beads, and so there's a good selection, and things that, you know, if you were to buy them, they would be quite pricey. When you add them all up, if I was to buy all of these as beads, it would be quite pricey. So I'm going to leave it there, and you know, happy hunting at your local charity store, and it'd be great to see what you do with the stuff that you get. Don't forget to like this video and check back for other videos with tips and hints of things that you can do in a creative setting or with your creativity. Okay, bye.